Hey friends, welcome back to Walking in Shadow. Of course, I'm Jason. It's nice to see you again. I appreciate your patience. I know I have a lot of little gaps, so I'm trying to make those less. But hey, a couple things. Of course, Mercury retrograde lasted a long time, up until the solstice about a week ago, and the solstice, and then the Capricorn moon with the manifestation vibe. Uh, on top of that, I know that I do a lot of videos called Update or Let's Talk About an Update or a New Direction or something. The reason why that is because I the information's new to me. I get updates, so then I want to pass them on. So while a lot of my content does cover a lot of warrior knowledge that I'm already aware of and that I want to share with others, the Starseed agenda is pretty much the number one thing going on for me. So I would think that many of you are Starseeds. I think that it's natural that we find the guidance that we need when we need it, usually from others of our kind. And you have to realize if you're not, or if you don't know if you are, that's okay. Certainly, there are many um, resources to find that out. Um, if you're like an earth person that is still going through cycles learning about earth, then that's okay. It doesn't mean that we're higher than you or lower than you. Uh, it, it it's just I want everybody's got their audience, and a lot of people like where I was going to do the tarot cards, and I may still do it, but that's not really like what I do. So, again, I think I just sort of deviated for the idea of increasing my popularity, but I don't need to do that. It'll grow on its own. It's fine, more organic that way, and it makes more sense. And I think I will start to see a difference, either an increase or decrease. I don't know yet, uh, concerning the fact that uh, a lot of my information is going to be Starseed related or galactically related because, as you know, uh, my mission on Earth is to connect people to their higher selves, like I am connected with my higher self, Vunseth, who is Pleiadian outside of time, and you know, whatever you want to call it. I'm not gonna mince words too much because I know that the people that are star seeds that know what I'm talking about can just know what I'm talking about. But like I said, if you're not, or if you're unsure, it doesn't make you less of a person or something. Um, a lot of the things still apply to you, and maybe you are. Maybe this will spurn you to go and find out what your galactic heritage is. Um, Vunseth originally incarnated in the Pleiades and had three entire lifetimes or incarnations in the Pleiades prior to doing the Starseed contract to come to Earth. Also, before that time, he had one lifetime in the Andromeda galaxy and one lifetime in Lyra as a hybrid. I know that's a lot of interesting information that sounds a little sci-fi to you, possibly, if you're not, you know, savvy to the starseed terminologies and whatnot. It's okay. Like I said, if you're interested, you'll check it out. But I know that I am usually talking to the people that need information. Now, if you already know what your primary, you know, where you get your information from, because we all receive information from our whatever you want to call it, resident or host galaxy, or it's coming from that area. Obviously, it's planets in those systems, but the energy's still coming from there. So I get transmissions pretty regularly, about once a day. Usually it's during the day right now because Pleiades is up almost just a little ahead of the sun. So wherever the sun is, it's close by. In fact, today I wanted to show you a group of pictures about showing about how I do transmission. I will say that when you're first starting out with your connection with your galactic heritage, you can often receive a lot of information, but you're not consciously aware of it in the third density, because what happens is they operate outside of time and space and find a point, usually while you're sleeping, because you being like frozen other than breathing, is less noticeable when you're asleep. You know what I mean? So that usually happens in sleep and dreaming, but it can happen other times too, just at the right times or whenever it happens. But they transmit the coded information into you, and then it is your duty then to piece out that information and put it out into a form or format that you can certainly apply, and of course you can also pass it on to others if it's if need be. I'm sure there's a lot of drama with the different races or whatnot. I'm not here about that. I'm here strictly about same thing I've been talking about. I don't care who you're from or where you are or what. It's okay. The important part is connecting that galactic higher self energy with you, the 3D counterpart, in time, where they're out of time. So it just, when you're operating in like a congruent flow with your higher self, which is also representative of source, I mean, it's just, things just sort of happen in the way they're meant to happen for you. Doesn't mean they're going to happen the way they're meant for everybody. Certainly not on some idealistic, meme-worthy, oh, this happened and the sun came out and birds flew out of my skirt or something. I don't know what. But I'm just saying, though, that it will make sense to you because it will happen to you. Now, talking about transmissions, once you're more in tune with them and know where, because the first thing you want to do once you find out is find out where that is in the sky, that particular thing. So, like, say if you're like a, whatever, Andromedan, Arcturian, Venusian, I mean, wherever you're from, you need to find out where that is in the sky so you know where it is. I use an iPhone, so I have the Sky Guide app, and I'm not getting paid to mention it. It's just, that's what I use, and it's very helpful to me. It's helpful to me because I like to sort of track anomalies that I see at night, and it's very good for the fact that it can separate like most known comets, asteroids, space junk from previous space missions that orbit, satellites. It can tell you if it's any of those things, because if it's not, and you've cut out every other possibility, then maybe something to pay more attention to. But also, it's very good for the fact of to optimize transmissions from that part of space, to know where it is at what time of day. Pay attention when you get a flood of data or information. What I'm saying is like, I'm having to talk to all levels of it, because I don't know. Everybody's journey is unique, and I can't say, well, this is the way you have to contact them, and this is the way. It doesn't work like that. Your way is the right way, so don't worry, you're good. But there are different people, like maybe just learning or on the path. Maybe they've known it for a long time and they're studying it, but it's tailor-made to you in the most intimate sense, because your higher self is giving you cues based on the information that you've received. And so that's why in my previous videos I talk about intuition, about warriors' focus in order to hone down to what is actually important. Belief, complete belief in source, trust in source, which is effectively trust in higher self, and then trust in yourself. Yeah. But anyway, let me skip to maybe a slightly more exciting portion of the video where I want to show you a group of photos that I have. The first two happened 2 days ago, when I got some information about my greater mission as far as this channel and what I'm going to be doing in the future, which I will get to. I'm not trying to put anybody on a cliffhanger or whatever. It's just I need to wait, because I've learned that maybe it's me personally, Jason, or maybe it's I don't know, something with the connection, but I get really excited and tend to jump the gun and want to tell everybody everything, because, you know, it's exciting. I think people need to know. But as I've gone on, I've learned that you receive the information, and not only do you have to integrate it into yourself, because it's in the most, human DNA friendly code possible, but still it's an alien code, so it doesn't always sync up or mesh up like you might want it to. So but besides the integration, you just sort of have to let it sit and let it take shape, let it stay on your mind. Let your mind and your brain start to use its analytical power to sort of fashion out a framework for the code that you received. That's how it worked for me. So I do see the things coming together. I do plan on being on a lot more. I'm healing all the time, getting better. I've still got my own shadows, for sure. I've got my own struggles, for sure. But following my intuition and putting out the message that I received from the Pleiades and from Voonseth to pass on to people is more important than my silly 3D stuff that I get caught up with or whatever. I'm not saying I'm not important or my life isn't important. It is, but it's not as important to me as my galactic mission. So anyway, so the first two pictures are taken 2 days ago. I show a picture of using the Sky Guide app. It's got a compass feature where you can click the little compass and it's live and it shows all the stuff where it is in relation to you, and you can move the phone around and see where it is. You can mark favorites. Of course, I have the Pleiades, and I've got the Andromeda galaxy, and I believe I have the center of the galaxy as well, our mini source from the Milky Way. Just, anyway, another time for that. But so the first two pictures you'll see are the sky guide. What's happening is, because it's right next to the sun, I've got when I feel like I'm receiving the transmission, I turn on Sky Guide app, pull up favorites on there, get Pleiades, put it live, and then I put the phone above my head, and 9 times out of 10, it's right in this field above me. Okay, so it's sort of like a confirmation, I guess. And so the first two you'll see will be like that. The group after that, there's one picture from yesterday. It was early because it was hot, and it's going to be hot again today. I'm so sorry if you live in Knoxville, East Tennessee. Summer's arrived, and it's going to be like 91 today. I know maybe somewhere else that's nothing, or wow, that's hot. But here, with the humidity of the Smokies, it's just, it's gross. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry we have to suffer that, but we'll suffer it together. Yesterday, though, I was on the porch, and, I could only be out there just maybe until about noon, and then it was just too hot. I just stayed in the house. So it'll probably be like that again today. I don't know. But anyway, let's look at these pictures. Like I said, first we're going to look at the two pictures from 2 days ago. So let's look at those. So you can see how it shows you where it is in relation to the sun, and then I was taking the picture to show like the sun's position, and then where Pleiades will be in relation to me. And you have to realize again that I'm not taking these pictures like this. I'm taking them like this, straight up. So that's why I have to hold the phone. I take a screenshot of the Sky Guide app, and then I flip it to the camera and then screenshot the same field just with the sky, so that you can see where the Pleiades is in relation to me. I mean, I'm really doing it for me. I don't usually take a picture of it. I just make a note of it. But I'm showing to you because if you get the Sky Guide app, the origin of transmission, the constellation or the area of transmission for you, then you can know when to be ready to receive this knowledge. Because it's important that we all have it. Like I say, the Pleiadians are not, they're not competitive or something. It's more important that everybody is more awake versus awake by who and for what agenda. We see things as more, let's get everybody awake, and then we can go through, ways to be with your new awareness. But, they got to do baby steps. I mean, they're coming from, many times they're called our cousins from the future. Well, that's just the best way we can describe it, because in in third density, we have to describe everything in 3 dimensions, so it's way over there in the future, way back there in the past, or whatever. It's some way, because actually it's nowhere. Like, I can't, it's nowhere and everywhere at the same time, because it's in another place or level of existence or vibration that we're just not aware of with our human senses. There's a lot of things going on all the time, outside, just slightly outside the spectrum, much less on a completely different energy spectrum. So let's look at let's do the one from yesterday also. Let's look at that one. Again, you could see, and then I did one today because I felt like the summer school's out, so now summertime and everybody sort of take a chill pill. So I got the feeling like, all right, now is the time. You've got a perfect window. Go in there, make this video. That was partially me, yes, but it's partially not me. How did I know? Found out. Have a look. Now, I understand that people could say, well, if you're just going at the same time and then you already think you're going to have an epiphany at this time, at this place, then you probably will. Good. Who cares? Does that make it less important to you that you have an epiphany and you learn something about yourself or the cosmos or your fellow man or woman or whatever, you know what I'm saying, humans, or whatever, who cares how you got there? You don't have to show your work. It's not school. It doesn't matter. Like, a lot of people, while I've got my Walking in Shadow page on Facebook and I like to talk to people, I don't get in real heavy with people because, and that could be a reflection of, why I have the subscribers I do and I don't have the exposure. But that's because I'm not trying to get everybody. I want the people who need to hear what I have to say to hear it. Because I didn't have that, and I want to be there for somebody else that can know that. Plus, there is a lot of information out there that's important, especially on the galactic front. Things are going to start popping real soon. So, best to be informed, It's all the only way I can put it to you. So, I think that's going to do it. We're going to talk more about Starseed stuff. I've got a sort of a project I'm working on called My Starseed Story, where I talk about the first appearance of the sigil. Sorry, my foot just hit the tripod. Where I first saw the sigil when I was 12, and the whole sort of the story of that, so you can know a little bit more about me and about Voonseth and what we're about. There are going to be other things, I am planning on making a Patreon, but the Patreon's going to be specifically, I'm going to call it the Shadow Army, and it's going to be people who are down with the Shadow Warrior business of taking out stuff, because while that is my, Starseeds usually have a dual mission, and while my mission in general is to connect people with their higher selves and all that, I'm still a hunter and I'm still a warrior. So one transmission, for instance, that I got today to share was that, as this great turning of energy occurs, which is happening right now, I know a lot of you, whether you do astrology or whatever you do, that everybody is aware of it, whether they're saying it straight up or saying it sort of sideways. It's a great sort of shift, convergence occurring. Now, there's a point in the flux, let's say, like where it changes shape slightly. And when that occurs and there's sort of like an oscillation in the energies, it allows space or portals to open. And every time that my hands stop touching, that's another thing that gets out. Things that have been locked up for a minute, and now they're, oh, light, I'm out. So there are a lot of things taking advantage of the current unstable configuration of the convergence, which is natural, but it's also, normally it wouldn't be such a big deal because I'm going to digress a little bit just to say about my warrior business is that there's a lot of people out there, like the Love and Light folks, Palo Santo and all that. I mean, it's work. It does work, and it's good. That's good. But the entities that could possibly show up are not affected by Sage, So we don't expect everyone to take up arms, but we expect those that can take up arms to do so. And that's why but I want to keep that track to a Patreon because I want people to pay for it, for the knowledge, because I don't know. I guess it feels like that way. It's, you're actually interested and you actually want to learn more about your role in the, I'm going to call it a war. Nothing that we've ever done and conventionally compares to the galactic scale wars. So, and anyway, this war is more of a one for the spirit. So it's not even going to be that exciting. But there are just a lot of open, awakened souls that are learning about themselves and opening and blossoming, and love beats the demon like in Natural Born Killers and all that. All that's true, but there's a lot of individual circumstances where these things just get out and they get into a place or like a portal spot, like in, I don't know if any of you watch Skinwalker Ranch, but that place clearly has some portals to some other eras on that property, and there are places like that all over, not to mention the ley lines. There's just many places for things to escape, and once they escape, then they look for food and they eat negative emotions or fear. They love fear. It's their favorite flavor. So people like me, warriors, we have to take up the mantle. Excuse me. I'm going to knock all this shit off. But we have to... there we go. We have to take up the mantle, okay? We have to take up the mantle to clean the area and to clean the entity. People rely on us as warriors to do the jobs they don't want to do. Fine, we're going to do it. But like I said, Patreon's where we're going to do that. I haven't made it yet, but it will be called the Shadow Army. And I hope that some of you come to it, especially you warriors. I need every one of you. But I did digress a little bit there, didn't I? I just want to tell people about that stuff, and there will be more videos to come, the Starseed thing. I'm sorry I never made the 4 agreements. It's hard for me to do scripted material because I generally like to stay in the present, and I like to stay, there's a lot of information constantly coming in, intel or whatever coming in that is more important. I mean, you want to learn about the Four Agreements, go read it. I will cover it at some point, or you can just check it out. Like, I mean, if you Google it, it'll tell you them, and you can apply them. Warrior ethics, I think I will maybe do more of that on Patreon, but the main channel we're going to keep with the Starseed stuff. A lot of I am going to do tarot things. I'm going to go through that giant tarot deck and talk about the different different symbolisms and meanings, so that you can do your own tarot readings if you wish. But all the warrior stuff's going to be on Patreon, and I just hope to see somebody there, because I'll definitely have more content there. If you're paying for it, then I will show up, and I will make that effort. Here, I'm not making any money doing this, so this is more of a labor of love, feeling a good intention for humanity and others, following my mission. But I say on Patreon, if people pay for it, then, you know, we can cover whatever topics you want, and we can talk about specifics, a lot of the specifics in the spiritual combat that I'm more than happy to share, but I'm not sharing it for free. I'm just not gonna. And if nobody takes me up on it, that's okay. At least I tried, right? Okay, well, I'm going to see y'all later. This is probably the longest video I've ever made. I don't know. I'm just enjoying myself. So we'll see y'all very soon again. I love all of you. And, you know, stay cool if you're in a hot place. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You don't want heat exhaustion or, God forbid, heat stroke. All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.